When I say jank, I mean weird interactions. Something like
But
this,
oh my god.
Dude, that might be.
Oh, he stopped.
What was
happened?
that? What the?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What was that?
How
What was
did
that?
he?
or possibly this. Devs aren't perfect, and the fact that these games are even playable is an accomplishment by itself, but there is bound to be bugs or exploits when played long enough. These are fun to look at and talk about, but they're not too common to see, and I don't think they're as jank as some of the things I'm going to talk about now. The unseen jank refers to core mechanics of a fighting game that, when looked at with more depth, make me question what the devs were doing when making the game. First off is the hop dash from Vampire Savior. Not all characters have access to this, but all the ones that do are considered some of the best in the game. I've never played a game where someone can just instant hop over and over again, barely leaving a gap to punish. I don't see this kind of thing at all with newer titles, giving the player on offense a huge advantage like this. Specifically with Vampire Savior, there's red damage that acts as true damage, and white damage which can heal over time when not being attacked. It's spammable, near unreactable, and while there are options to deal with the approach if you know it's coming, it doesn't change the fact that the characters considered the best in the game all have this ability. Based on my own experience, it can be a fucking nightmare to deal with. Felicia has some solid anti-air buttons, but against characters like Sasquatch or Raptor, trying to guess when they are going to dash hop is a game on its own. On a side note, this game was one of the first to have push block, which lets you push people away from you while guarding. Majority of games have it set to 2 buttons or you can macro it to 1. However, in this game, you need to piano the buttons going from light to heavy. Essentially, the more buttons you press while blocking, the higher the chance it is for push blocking the attack. The fact that it's percentage based is whack, and it's one thing I don't want to come back. Plus R would be my main game at the moment. However, it has some cursed shit in it that makes no sense to me. I main Milia. She's fast and has great Oki, but the force break version of her disc is too good for only 1/4 of a meter. You can get 2 or maybe even 3 mix-ups while it's active, and if you put the disc on late enough, it can catch burst. It can be used to extend combos, and it's active while Milia is in block stun. Which leads me to the other thing prevalent in this game. There are so many moves that stay active even if the character using the move is blocking or in some cases getting hit. Dizzy's Ice Fish is infamous for how long the move can stay out with some homing properties to it. It can bite up to 3 times and each bite takes about a second. It doesn't go away until the animation is finished. I played her a bit and the fish just being out can have a huge effect on how my opponent would play the neutral. Still not the worst thing in the game though. Zappa's sword. This thing is fucked. During the Frosty Fausting tournament earlier this year, the power of this move was on full display. He has unseeable low-high mix-ups, it has no hurt box so it can't be bursted, and Zappa can control it from anywhere on the screen. It's one of the summons he can have, so I guess the devs tried to balance it by it being random on whether or not Zappa gets it, but it's still a fucked up move, and it can win matches by itself, assuming the Zappa player knows what he's doing. The parry mechanic in Third Strike. Widely considered the reason for the game's success. Once mastered, the game is played totally different compared to lower level playing of the game. It's possible to OS parry with buttons or throw, making it a constant guessing game on what the opponent will do. That's the thing though, it turns nearly every situation into a guess. Anti-airing isn't as effective due to being able to parry in the air, but when someone jumps at you, it's a natural reaction to want to hit them. From my own experience, once I started implementing parrying into my play, how I played the game changed severely. Instead of being confident about anti-airing people, now I wonder whether or not they will parry it. It's this constant guessing game, which is the reason why people still come back to play it. The mind is always thinking about the next move, leading to a very engaging experience, one that's hard to find anywhere else. There are many other examples, but these are some of the ones that I've dealt with the most. Thank you for listening. So I'll use this section just to talk about some other strong mechanics. One that have a huge presence in their game. Something like Super Dash and Dragon Ball Fighters. I wouldn't consider it jank because it's pretty straightforward. It's just a homing dash that targets your opponent. There are some weird interactions though, like if you try to super dash someone in the air, sometimes if they fall down or jump up fast enough, your character will go in the complete opposite direction of where they're going. So that's weird. All the various overdrives from Blaze Blue can be considered jank in some way, but well, specifically Arakune's, his is just complete bullshit. But I don't know. I think Zappa Sword is worse just because